everything.
Alright guys, we are back in Learn HTML and CSS Part 1. Styling with CSS Colors. Let's go ahead and jump on it. So, there's a lots of different colors that you can use that are default built in, and there's various ways of choosing custom colors as well. So that's probably what we're going to be going over in this section. It's also going to be talking about CSS syntax and how to link CSS and HTML files together. Alright. The foreground color, the background color, the best of coffee regions. So you'll see color styles the foreground, then the background color styles back. So there's kind of the background of like an H1 element. You'd be like, oh, it's just letters, but technically that space, that empty space behind it, is the background. So let's go ahead and set the foreground color, or just the color parameter of the main heading to midnight blue. So we have our main heading, which is header here. So let's go ahead and see if we can find our header. So here's our header. And we want to go ahead and set the color here to midnight blue, which is a built-in color. Let's go ahead and run this. And there, now that's changed the color of this. So as of right now, by default, H1s don't have a background color. It's set to transparent. Now what we're going to do here is just kind of showcase the difference between color and background-color. So we're going to go ahead and set this to cyan, which is kind of like an off red. Just going to run this one more time. Can I read property? Huh. I'm not quite sure what I did here. Oh, I believe they wanted this in the H1s, not in the actual header. So let's go ahead and jump down to here and do that. My mistake. I apologize for that. There we go. And now you'll see, oh, cyan's... Apparently I don't know what the color cyan is, but it is like a turquoise. I think I was thinking maroon, excuse me. So you see now that this kind of space that this takes up, the background color is there. We're going to go ahead and remove that because it looks awful. Let's go ahead and change that back. And there we go. Oops. So, we showcased the color and we showcased background color. Next thing that we want to do is set the color of the main heading to crimson. We'll go ahead and change this. We're going to set it to crimson. And we want to go... And we want to go ahead and set the background color of the subheadings, which I'm guessing they're counting that as the H2, so that to a dark magenta. So let's go ahead and jump down to our dark magenta. You'll see right here there's some hashtag numbers. This is another way of setting a color that isn't built into the CSS library. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get the code and see what they're saying we're messing up on. Set the background color. Oh, excuse me. I see what I did here. My apologies. Let's go ahead and Control Z here. And we actually wanted to set the background color here. Mistakes were made. Dark magenta. Now we should be good to go. Just going to run that. And you'll see now we now have our background color like so. You're going to see us use RGB now. RGB, of course, stands for red, green, blue. And we're going to set the main heading. Let's go jump down to here. To this. So the way that you set it using RGB, 54, 74, 101, and obviously you wouldn't have this memorized except a select few, such as like black or white or like certain colors. But the reason that the way you would find this is there'd be like a color wheel online or a CSS or a document in Photoshop that would be telling you these numbers, so you could get the exact color from a document that you're looking at. Alright, let's go ahead and jump down here, and we're going to change this to RGB, and we're going to set this to 23. Notice the commas between these as well to separate them, and then to 24. So the red value, the green value, and the blue value. Now, so we saw how you could put direct words in there. We also saw how you could do RGB, and now we're going to do the hex color. So in the main heading, or H1 here, we're going to go ahead and reset the color here using the hashtag. This gives us even more options to color, and again you would use this. You'd be able to get this number from like Photoshop or from various color wheels on the internet. Let's go ahead and jump down to our subheading here, and which it's already using that for its color, but instead we're going to do it for the background color. We're going to go ahead and change that to the hashtag AA8EB5. You'll see right there, it's nice kind of purplish color. So I haven't actually used hue, saturation, or lightness, but apparently that's short for HSL, which is another color parameter that allows us to, or part of color that allows us to do certain things, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know this. So you'll see right here, we're going to set the color. Jump down to change of the main heading. So we're going to take this out, and we're going to put HSL. We're going to put 350, 58.8% saturation. And then we're going to put 42.0%. What was the L again? That was lightness. Let's go ahead and run this and see the difference. Alright, it's a little different. There's also RGBA. So say you wanted to make your text a little translucent, you could do that with RGBA. You just add an A to it, and then you would have you'd add a fourth input, and that would be how translucent you would want it to be. You do the same thing with HSLA as well. So change color main heading to RGBA colors. Alright, so let's go into the main heading here. Excuse me, and we'll use RGBA. So same thing, we're going to put the red, then the green, then the blue, and then now we're going to, between 0 to 1, in our case we're going to do 0.6 for the transparency. And you'll see now that it's going to be a little bit see-through. You can kind of see through it. What happened there? Alright, so I forgot to run my code because this thing's a little buggy. So we'll do this one more time, which is 293, 140, and then 0.6. Excuse me. So it's transparent. Want to make it a little bit more opaque, so we're going to go ahead and do up that to 0.9. Leave the color the same. You'll see it's a little stronger. You can barely see through it unless you look real close. If you really wanted to make it really see through, you could throw 0.1 in there like so, and you'll barely see it there. Just going to change that back to a 0.9. So the lower the number, the more see-through it is. So let's go ahead and jump into the main heading here. It looks like we're going to be doing a little bit of review. So we're going to change this, the main heading using RGB. And we're going to change this to so this is going to be 3, 150, 100. Just going to run that. There's our black. 3, 150, 100. Interesting. Oh, excuse me, I forgot to remove the A. There we go. Let's go ahead and run that. Now we should be good. On the next line, we're going to set the it looks like we're going to be doing 2 of these. So we're going to do RGBA and so it's showing us that we can stack these. I didn't know that. See, we're learning things every day. So we're actually going to set another parameter like so. As I said in a previous video, I am always learning things about CSS. We're going to do RGBA. I really had no idea you could stack these. Unless they're trying to make a point that you're not supposed to stack them like this. So let's go ahead and run that. Which color was applied to the heading? Let's find out. It looks like it maybe just took our transparent. Interesting. So, what did we learn this section? We learned primarily about color. We learned that elements like H1s have a foreground color, or the text color, and a background color, the empty space behind it. We also learned that apparently there's 147 named colors you can use. We learned about RGB, RGBA, naming colors that way and being able to set transparency. We also learned about the hexadecimal colors, which 16 million color possibilities compared to our 147 named ones. And then we also learned about how to set opacity using HSLA. It says here that not all browsers support HSLA or opacity. For the most part, they probably do. This is just kind of a general thing. But there's a lot of, and also it talks about a lot of color resources, pickers available on the internet. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video if you think you know someone who would find it helpful. And a special thanks to you supporting on Patreon. Your dollars are appreciated and go towards the channel and bettering the content. So thank you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching the video. Special thanks to our sponsor, Dev Mountain. Definitely check them out at devmountain.com. If you're looking for a bootcamp that's in front-end development, iOS, or UX, go ahead and give them a shot. Tuition includes housing, so you can get up and go and fully immerse yourself in the program. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.